A lot of times, I think we feel like the more retrieves, the better. It's the opposite. I want bags in position, and like for me, if I were going out training right now, I got my bag set up from last night. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dummies. 5 dummies for me, with one dog is probably too many. I don't know that I need 5. If I do, you just see how I adjusted them. So I had them laying flat. I just adjusted each one and took the tails out like this. I've got my 2 big ones, my mediums, and my little puppy in order. I gotta get this out of the way or I'm gonna lose this whistle. Always keep my tennis balls in this side pouch. I know exactly where they are. If I need a tennis, I have some extra ones in here, but I always have tennis balls in this one. So I'm walking down and I can tell you right now, I need a dummy, I need a dummy. I got it. When it comes back in, I'm putting it right back in that spot. So it's easy to get at. And I usually flip these tails so I can get them out. So in a denial, we can walk up, pull a dummy, pitch it. It looks just like a trailing memory. You can set it up like a trailing memory and heel them off. Sit. You could throw another dummy. There's a diversion. But we can turn them all into denials by simply traffic cop stop, back up, don't take my eyes off that dog, pick up that dummy, put it in my bag, circle back around, pick up that dummy, put it in my bag, come back in, don't put too much pressure on them, don't walk straight into them so that they scoot, come back in nice and soft, bend down, pick my lead up, heel them off, good. That was 2 chances right there that they saw a dummy fly that they didn't get to pick up. You can have someone else throw a dummy out. You have your dog watch, and in a marking drill, you'd send your dog for that retrieve. In a denial, send another dog to retrieve it and let your dog watch. Or walk out and pick it up yourself, or have someone else go get it. There's a lot of variations to this, but the bottom line is, watch dummies fly, don't pick them up.
Todd was doing these during a break on the porch, had Nellie on place. Lillian was bringing bumpers, wanted Todd to throw them. Todd threw them out and sent Lillian to get them. Those were half a dozen denials for Nellie. Right there.
Just sat there and watched them.
I mean, many things. He was playing with Lillian, but trying to get a training session out of it without Nellie getting all crazy with it.
A lot of times, I think we feel like the more retrieves, the better. It's the opposite.
The softball game I went to with Adela, and I had 2 dogs sitting by the fence laying there watching it. Doesn't happen if the dogs don't do denials.
You know, a great place to train dogs. Now you got to have them. They got to be conditioned to gunfire. If you're going to do bird hunting stuff, especially duck hunting, one of the best things to do after they're conditioned to the gunfire is take them with you to shoot sporting clays. You heel them along a path. You shoot 50 shots. You might have a buddy that shoots 50 shots. So that's 100 birds flew. No retrieves. If the dog, like we did this in Buffalo County, we threw clays out and shot at them. And if a dog broke and ran after that clay that got shot, what's he get for a reward? Nothing, because there's no retrieve. If we throw dummies and the dog breaks and goes and gets it and picks it up, you can't correct that. He just picked up a dummy. Don't pick up dummies? What's the message? So we got to be careful and understand that the idea of the way we create a patient, quiet, steady dog is by not making retrieve. I've seen it where dogs get bored with retrieving. They lose interest in it. because all we do is so many retrieves. So let's start out. Everybody gets a denial here. Heel your dog forward, take 2 steps, and get them positioned. So we're going to go from sleeping and resting here to a heel forward and a sit. And then I'm going to have a dummy. Yep, and Wyatt's going to have a dummy. And we're not going to go throwing it at a dog because I don't think that's fair. So we're going to go up, and you're going to be ready. We're going to go up and over the top of me.
Stay.
Good. There, you're, okay. Beautiful. So now I go and I pick it up. Good. You know how lucky you were right there? Because your lead was not, you didn't have your lead in the right spot, and you went to give a nice correction and you had so much slack that it didn't go through. But you know what the best part about it was? Although he went like this, he felt and heard that little bit of shake of that lead, and he didn't even have to feel it on his neck, and he went like this and he came back and you were there. Good, good. As tempting as that was. Beautiful. How do I introduce a dog to gunfire? Something like this. My little puppies, I'll walk around clapping.
Sit.
No rewards. Good. You get to the point where you can do a nice steady sit, remote sit, and you can come out and you can traffic cop stop that pup, and you can get your hand up and you can pull a dummy out.
Stay.
Good. And then you can walk back and pick it up. You can do this all by yourself. And the reason you can do it that way, the reason you're going to do it that way is because what happens if you throw the dummy up over your head and the dog breaks right now? What happens? It's right here. I get to it first before he ever touches it. If that dog gets to the dummy first, you just did 2 things. You rewarded the break because they got to retrieve. And the issue is you're really confusing to them that way. So we can't let them get, so you don't correct that. I wouldn't correct it. I'd look at that and go, damn, I got to get better at that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into a delivery. Here, hold, good, dead, be done. Learn from it.
Stay.
Ready?
Stay. Stay.
Good. Sit. Sit. Like for the first couple times of this, tough. It's a tough thing. But what'll end up happening, and I don't know that it's possible to see it happen in a matter of minutes, in a few reps, but what'll end up happening is they're going to realize, I don't get to go, I don't get to go, I don't get to go. And about the time they start to say, I don't get to go, okay, now we're going to send one. And then you're going to send that dog, and he's going to go get the retrieve, and we'll start that back over. Now in a group, the tough part would be, and I would not encourage this to start out and be progressed as a group. I think you should do it by yourself first. Then a second dog, so that you can take turns alternating on retrieves. And then you can get another dog involved and another dog involved. But the thing about this is if we sent one dog right now, that would drive the rest of these dogs nuts. It's too much.
Sit. Sit.
Good.
Sit.
Good. Good. Take a step forward. Take a step forward. There.
Sit. No.
She's so tuned out of it, she goes, I don't even want to look. It'll drive me nuts. That's okay. Now, we'll pick these up. Take a step forward and reset your dog. Because we've asked them to sit for a couple minutes here, and they've done pretty damn well. So reset them. Give them a chance to clear the slate. Start over again. You take 2 steps forward, and a lot of times I sit still with a dog and they start to get antsy and they start to get bored. So I realize the amount of focus is running short. We're running out of time here before they're going to lose it, and we're going to not gain anything from whatever we're trying to accomplish. So I just simply reset the clock. Heel, sit, good. Start the clock over again. So by you taking a step and resetting the clock, I want you to take a step forward, and I want you guys to take a dummy out of your bag fluidly, smoothly, so that you're not fumbling and messing around with trying to get things out. And I want you to take a step, sit, good. And we'll pick them up. I'm not even going to ask you to leave them remote. Good. You come out, swing out, and do a traffic cop stop. Now look at where the dog's facing. We're back to that old bad habit. Yep, step forward. Step forward and sit. Sit. Traffic cop stop and back up to grab it. Nice and slow. And come back with low pressure. Put that dummy away before you get there, so don't make it any more tempting than it needs to be. Sit. That's the exact same thing we ran into when we were doing the steadiness drill, so that's what we're going to work on. And we'd work on it without the dummy. Get perfect at it without the dummy, and then we'll add the dummy in. No problem. Good. Very good. Okay. Good. Good.
Sit. Stay. Stay.
Don't turn your back to him. There. Don't turn your back to the dog until you're so confident they can't make a mistake. I still walk backwards to my dog to dummies. Good. You do that more often than retrieve, and you won't have that dog lunging when a dummy goes thrown. And you won't lose any drive. You'll gain drive in the retrieve. I hear a lot of people say, oh, you kill the drive in the retriever. Well, then that's a really poorly bred retriever. Because if you can kill the retrieve in a retriever, you really are doing something wrong. Especially one that if you've raised them up when they're little to enjoy and love the retrieve, that's a fire you can't put out. It's also a fire that most people can't control because they let it burn so hot. So I think you can reverse that lunging by 10% of the time it retrieves it, 90% of the time it watches. Starts getting more used to the idea of watching than retrieving. Boy, that's a real treat to have in a blind. Is that Da Vinci's dummy?
Yep.
Do you feel like you can pick that up?
We're going to go right next to it.
Okay.
Sit.
There you go. Keep his eyes. Good.